Hello everyone, welcome to Everything Football and welcome to the Match Day 9 deadline stream for the UCL Fantasy. The team news is out for both teams already, for all four teams actually, Man City, Bayern, Benfica and Inter Milan. I have only one transfer remaining, but I have two problems in my team. One of them is Osimhen and the other one is Mahrez, who doesn't start. So I will make the transfer as we do this live stream. It's probably going to be Osimhen out since Mahrez can still come on. So I'll probably just have to leave him in the team and hopefully he comes on and does something for me. How are you guys? Teza, how are you? Nice seeing you again. How are you as well? Ray, also captaining Mari, says back 3 options, Sane, Haaland and Mario. All could be very good options for captain. So you can see the Man City game being a high scoring one. And for Benfica, Joao Mario always scores, always assists, or takes penalties. So it's always a great option. Although I don't expect that game to be high scoring, the Benfica one and Inter Milan one. I'm thinking of captaining Mario for some reason, but City versus Bayern, there should be goals and one will come from Haaland, as you said. Zaids, how are you? What you have to say? Send in your questions, Zaids. Send in your questions. Also, to the reaction, the 2-2 draw at Anfield, I was okay with it. A lot of people are not happy with it, but I was totally okay with it. Johnny says Osimhen is injured. He was back in training, but I don't think they'll risk him for tomorrow. He might be back for the second leg, though, or he could even be back for the weekend's game, Napoli's game. How are you, Liad? Mohammed says the best players in every position. Forward players, I'd still say Erling Haaland. Midfield, I'd probably say Joao Mario. Defense, I don't think Man City and Bayern, I think both teams will score, so I wouldn't go for any of their defenders. I'd probably go for a tough one, but I'd probably go for Di Lorenzo as the defender and probably Courtois as the goalkeeper. Captain Haaland or Ramos or Mario De Bruyne, I think any of them could be okay. I just put a poll in the chat asking which team are you captaining from. I think, as you said, I think Man City and Bayern is going to be a high-scoring game. So expecting goals then, and Haaland is a machine. Haaland always scores, like literally Haaland always scores. Like he's absolutely crazy. He's not human at all. He always scores. Ramos, Benfica, I'm expecting them to get at least one goal. I don't think they're going to get too many goals. So there's that. So I think for today, it's literally up to you. This is the day that you're going to pick whichever captain you want. Today is the day that you're allowed to pick a differential captain as well. Because the time we get to the semi-final, everyone will pretty much have a similar team. If Man City are there, everyone will have Haaland, everyone will have De Bruyne. If Real Madrid are there, everyone will have Benzema, Vini, all those guys. So this is the only time you have you can't go for a differential, but I would still go for a Benfica player though. How are you? Relaxing Central, nice seeing you again. Grealish or Gnabry or Son? I can see Gnabry is playing as a forward player today. He's playing as a striker, so that is very interesting. As a differential, I mean, Sane and Grealish, you do expect them to start the second leg as well. For Gnabry, I'm not 100% sure he definitely starts for second leg. So if you just want to be very aggressive and just focus on the first leg for this one, you can go for Gnabry as a differential because he's playing as a striker today. But if you are also looking at the second leg and you still have a few other problems in your team and you still have bench players who've already been eliminated and you don't want to have too many players, because next time you're allowed only 3 subs next week, 3 transfers. So if you don't want to get yourself in a position where you have like 4 or 5 problems in your team and you're only allowed 3 transfers, then you can go for Sane and Grealish. But if your team is looking okay and you just want a differential, go for Gnabry. He's playing as a striker today. Ray says, I have 3 problems. Osimhen, Mahrez, and Ba. I transferred Osimhen to Raspadori as a good differential, although Simeone started in place of Osimhen the other day. So how many transfers do you have? I have 3 problems. Transferred Osimhen. So you still have transfers, right, Ray? Osimhen, I'd probably go to if you don't have, do you have Benzema or Haaland? I'm sure you have Haaland already. If you want guarantee, you probably will go for Benzema if you have the money. But if it's a differential, you could go for Rafa Silva or Ramos. They're not really differentials, but in terms of scoring goals for Benfica flying in their league this season, so they could still be options. For Mahrez, I can see Grealish is starting. If you want to go directly to another Man City player, you can just go for Grealish instead. He's been on fire recently, the last 1 month. I will captain whoever you captain if we have the same player. I will decide at the end who I'm going to captain. When you make changes, I've already made 4 changes, Mohammed. I already took out, let me do this. So I already took out Messi and I brought in Benzema. I also took out Bellingham. I brought in Tonali. I took out Reece James and I brought in Carvajal and I took out Costa, the goalkeeper, and I brought in Onana. So I only have 1 transfer remaining, but I still have 2 problems, Osimhen and Mahrez. But I'll probably keep Mahrez because he can still come from the bench and Osimhen is not going to play. So I'm going to take out Osimhen and just leave Mahrez in the starting lineup and hopefully he comes on. Why is Modric only 7.1 million? Definitely need to correct it, huh? They definitely need to correct it. I mean, in the Champions League, he doesn't get that many, in terms of attacking returns, he doesn't really get that many goals and assists. So I'm guessing that is why he's cheaper. Actually, in the Champions League, if it's fantasy, I think Varshele, like next season, if he's still at Napoli and Modric is still at Real Madrid, he could be more expensive than him because of the attacking returns. But Modric doesn't get a lot of goals and assists like in the Champions League, like someone like a Bellingham, for example. Video from yesterday. Yes, I always reply to every comment. Which question did you ask? How are you, Radar? 2 transfers left. Osimhen and is it Radar or Radar? Osimhen and Chilwell to Ramos and Militao, or leave Chilwell and take out Coman for Grealish. 2 transfers left. Is Coman starting? I mean, I have the lineup scrolling down the bottom. They have Goretzka, Kimmich, Sane, Musiala, Coman, and Gnabry up front. Okay. Take out Coman for Grealish. I don't think I would switch. If any team is going to win today, I think Man City are going to win the home game, and I can see Bayern Munich winning their home game. So I can see it being like a 3-2 to Man City, or even 4-3 to Man City today, and then next week a reverse result, Bayern Munich to win. Chilwell, the thing with Chilwell, I think Real Madrid are going to thump them in the first leg tomorrow. I think when they go to Bernabeu tomorrow, they're going to be thumped. So you have to be careful in terms of how many minus points they're going to get, the likes of Chilwell and the likes of Reece James. That is why I took out Reece James. So your question is Osimhen and Chilwell to Ramos and Militao, or leave Chilwell and take out Coman for Grealish? I'd take out Chilwell. Just leave Coman in your team. That's what I do. Liad says current squad: Vlaco, Edison, Grimaldo, Upamecano, Cavell, Di Lorenzo, Rachmani, De Bruyne, Vini. The question is 3 transfers left, 1 million left. What would you do? 3 transfers left. Interesting. Goalkeepers. I mean, the goalkeepers are playing on the same day, Liad. So I'd try and get a goalkeeper from tomorrow. That's the first thing I'd do. Definitely, because Vlaco is playing today and Ederson is playing today. So change one of the goalkeepers. I'd probably be tempted to take out. The thing with Benfica, they do have 2 of their defenders out injured. That is Ba, or suspended and injured. Ba is out injured. He's been a regular this season at right back, and Otamendi is suspended. So they could consider goal to Inter Milan. Although Inter Milan is not that kind of team to score that many goals against you, they are missing defenders. So you have to be careful about going for too many players in terms of defense from Benfica. So let me look at the first thing I'd do is change one of the goalkeepers. I'd let you decide which one you're going to change, Liad, but change one of the goalkeepers and bring someone from tomorrow, either Onana or, if you want, Kepa, whoever you prefer from tomorrow's games. Grimaldo, Upamecano, Cavell, Di Lorenzo, Rachmani. I think that is fine. KDB, Vini. Definitely take out Bellingham, is eliminated. So take out Bellingham, Osimhen, and one of your goalkeepers. I'd probably bring in a striker from Benfica and maybe midfield. You can go for a differential in place of Bellingham, maybe a Grealish or someone. Hopefully that answers your question, Liad. Man City or Bayern, says Johnny. So I think Man City are going to win the first leg, and I think Bayern are going to win the second leg. Now, if I put my Arsenal cap on as an Arsenal fan, I want Man City to go through. Because I want them to be in a lot of competitions, because the moment they get out of the Champions League, they're going to fully focus on the Premier League and you're going to be in a bit of trouble. But overall, I think Bayern could edge it by like one goal or something. I can see it being like 5-4 something on aggregate to Bayern. The thing is, Tuchel has been there for like 2 games. For the Freiburg game and the Dortmund game, he's won both. So it's going to be interesting to see how he does in this one. And the last few times Pep Guardiola has played against Tuchel has absolutely outsmarted him. Champions League, FA Cup, Premier League, all of them. In Benfica, I trust, says Zides. All 5 transfers done, says Ray. I wouldn't take minus though. I do not like taking minuses. Like right now, I have only 1 transfer left with 2 problems, but I'm just going to keep my eyes in the team because I don't like taking hits. Currently thinking Bellingham to Kimmich. That is also fine. Kimmich could be great in terms of recovery points, and he also takes some corners and some free kicks. Osimhen to Ramos, that is also fine. Ederson to Courtois, that is totally fine, lad. So I have to bench Bar and hope Mahrez plays. Yes, that is what you're going to do, unless you're okay with taking hits. The thing with right now, if you take a hit for -4, that player you're bringing has to deliver. And the bad thing is you can take out Mahrez and then he comes on and gets an assist or something, and then it's a waste of a transfer. So for me, I'm going to keep Mahrez. If he comes on, does something great. If he doesn't do anything, then the likes of Kvaratskhelia on the bench, they can come on tomorrow. Kepa or Merit, probably the Napoli goalkeeper. Chelsea will concede goals. Maybe in terms of save points, Kepa could still have a save points, but I'd still go for Merit. It was my team, and you suggested I add another Real Madrid defender instead of Silva. Oh yeah, I remember you had a lot of Benfica defenders, right? Yeah, that is what I was saying. You had too many of their defenders. Starting Ramos, Benzema, Haaland, KDB, Vini, Valverde, Courtois, Di Lorenzo, Kvaratskhelia, and Kim on the bench. So that looks good to me. Ramos, Benzema, Haaland, that's not bad at all. KDB, Vini, Valverde, Mario, not bad at all. Defense, yeah, you have 3 defenders from Benfica. I have a feeling Inter Milan will get away to score today. That's the thing, because Benfica missing 2 defenders. But if there's anything that is most likely to keep a clean sheet this week, it could be Benfica today. So if you're going to take one of the defenders out, I'd probably get in like a Cavell, because Chelsea, my goodness, Chelsea have not scored. Like, they've scored 29 goals in 30 games. That is terrible. Like 29 goals in 30 games. Haaland himself has scored more goals than the whole Chelsea team. So when they go to Real Madrid tomorrow, unless they bring out their Champions League the Chelsea usually do that sometimes. Whenever they're doing badly in the league, they come out and win the Champions League. Maybe they channel their inner Champions League form, but if they don't, they're not going to score a goal. Because if Real Madrid play like they did against Villarreal, then Chelsea will score. But if Real Madrid play the way they played against Barcelona when they won 4-0 last week, then Chelsea are not going to score. Which defender would you get from Man City and Bayern? Man City, that's a tough one. I feel like you're not going to get any clean sheet, first of all. That's the thing. Man City maybe Ake, because he will go forward a bit on the left side and he's been okay for them recently. So maybe Ake from Man City. And I'd probably still go for, because Cancelo can come on for either Pavard or Davis. I'd probably go for Upamecano at center back. Militao, Rudiger, or Carvajal. I'd go for Carvajal because I think he started every single Champions League game, maybe missed one. And Militao, Rudiger, and Alaba, anyone can play at centre back. So I'm going to go for Carvajal. Since it's the first day, I'll go with Haaland. Haaland. What a player, man. That guy scares me, man. He's a machine. He's a machine. If we can win the league instead of Man City this season, that would be absolutely huge because Man City do not have human beings playing up front. They have a machine. Ramos and Vlaco or Rafa and Edison? I'd go for the first option, Ramos and Vlaco, because Bayern is tougher than Inter Milan, so I'd go for Ramos and Vlaco, both of them. Best Real Madrid defenders, says Zello. I am going to go for Carvajal, of course, but if you're including goalkeeper, I am going to go for Courtois. Someone asked something about midfielders. That is Sam. Sam says best 7.5 million midfield. Does it have to be 7.5 million, or are you suggesting like less? Or anywhere, even if it's less. 7.5. How much is Grealish? Let me just check Man City midfielders. Man City. Grealish is 7.9, so that is going to pass your budget. Same as Bernardo Silva. I was thinking Zielinski. Let me check how much Zielinski is. Zielinski is 7.2. It could work out. Zielinski could work out for you if you want like a differential. Let me check how many people own him right now. He's owned by 11%. So yeah, it's not massively a differential, but Zielinski could be your guy for 7.2, unless you're totally going to go for massive differentials. But I think it's slightly a risk. I don't think you can get such kind of midfielders. At Goretzka is starting for Bayern Munich, same with Kimmich. So if I was going to give it in order, the two that I'd probably go for Zielinski and Kimmich, because both of them can get assists, and both of them do go forward, especially Zielinski this season in the Champions League. He has taken a couple of penalties as well this season. Since Kvaratskhelia has missed like twice, Zielinski, I think, has taken like 3 penalties for them this season, and they've gotten a lot of penalties this season. Napoli, I've seen Kvaratskhelia taking like 4 or 5. I've seen Osimhen taking like 2 or 3. I've seen Zielinski taking a couple as well. So Zielinski could work out for you, and Kimmich can also take corners and free kicks and recovery points in midfield. Are you going to replace Osimhen with Raspadori? I'm still thinking about it, but it's definitely going to be Osimhen to go out. That's a French name, right? Like I can tell that is French. Your name. Thoughts on Valverde? If I was playing my wildcard, or if I was putting together a team from today, I wouldn't really go for Valverde. I'd go for Vinicius and Benzema and Courtois and Carvajal, those guys. But it's still a good option. If Chelsea played the way they've been playing this season, then definitely no. Chelsea, they've been terrible, man. Like, you've been watching their games, like they're being dominated by every single team. So if they pop up and beat Real Madrid, that would be one of the shocks of the season. Thank you for everyone for joining so far. Make sure to hit the like button if I've answered your question. I'm trying to get points through ball recovery. A clean sheet is not guaranteed from either team. So you're trying to get points from ball recoveries. What was your question? Which defender would you get from Man City and Bayern? So probably Ake. Davis will go forward a lot and back a lot, but he could be subbed off early for Cancelo. So I'd say Ake and then Upamecano. And then if he's third one, Pavard. One problem, if I remove Silva, I can't afford Carvajal. But if I downgrade Diaz to Ake, then I can afford a Real Madrid defender. Still worth it. I'm on a wildcard, so no worry for hits. Zayed is very lucky. He's on a wildcard. He has nothing to worry about. So ain't gonna worry about that. I missed that song. Still worth it. Yes, it's definitely worth it. So downgrade Diaz to Ake. That definitely I'm going to do that because Ake can still head in a corner as well, just like Diaz on the other side, and Ake is going to go forward more on the left wing or left side. So I'm going to I would do that. Yes, I would do that. Sides. Bernardo or Mahrez. Mahrez is on the bench, so that's the thing. So probably Bernardo. But Bernardo is going to be subbed off. So I think Grealish could play more minutes than Bernardo. How unique. My 5 transfers right now are Messi, Osimhen, Bellingham, Salah, and Otamendi. For Benzema, Ramos, KDB, and the last 2 aren't decided. I will have 12.3 left in the bank. What do you think? So guessing you've taken out Osimhen. So you brought in Benzema and Ramos for Messi and Osimhen. That is fine. KDB for Bellingham. So you still have money to replace Salah and Otamendi. It depends on how the rest of your team looks. Is Otamendi the only defender you have from Benfica? If that's the case, I'm assuming you have Grimaldo, though. If you don't have Grimaldo, bring in Grimaldo for Otamendi. If you already have a Benfica defender, do you already have a Napoli defender? I'd need to see the rest of your team, Nick, but from if I guess whoever you have and whoever you don't have, I'd probably take out Otamendi for a Real Madrid defender, Carvajal, or someone like that, because you have a lot of money there, and then probably Salah out for how much money do you have left? Like 6-7 million. That's a tough one. Do you also have Mario? Let me disturb you, Nick. Let me know the rest of how the rest of your team looks. But I'd probably go for a Real Madrid defender, and then I'd need to see your midfield to decide on which other midfield they should bring on. Bonjour, Nicho. Comment ça va? Hi, CF Edit. So you. Mazredo says hit the like button. I'd appreciate it. Would you pick any Milan, Inter, Chelsea 7.5 million midfield instead of Kimmich? Inter Milan, AC Milan, I have gone for Tonali in midfield for recovery points, and he's also picked up a couple of assists in the Champions League this season, and also player of the match, I think, once. But that is a massive differential. That one I've just gone for it just to have an AC Milan midfielder there. Inter Milan. Now the thing with Inter Milan, they do love giving Brozovic. Let me check something. I think Brozovic has been given player of the match this season. Inter. There's a couple of players who the Champions League love giving player of the match. Has he picked up player of the match? He's picked up player of the match once. I'm not really keen on the likes of Brozovic and Mkhitaryan. Both of them are starting. If you want differentials, then you can go that direction, but I'd really prefer Kimmich, the one I know. But if you want a differential, then the likes of Mkhitaryan you can go for. If you don't already have differentials in your team, but if you already have like 1 or 2 differentials, I can actually see them on TV. Mkhitaryan, Brozovic, and Barella starting in midfield. I mean, one of them has to go forward to help Dzeko and Martinez. It could be Mkhitaryan. So if you want a differential, then you can go for Mkhitaryan, Liad. Since my team is done, I'll join and help others. Appreciate it, Ray. No problem, Tessa. Thank you for always watching. I'm 32nd in my country, hoping to be in the top 15 by the end. Like, I'm sure you can definitely get there. Also, any tips on the Norwegian fantasy? Even I started playing after you suggested and made up some team I have no clue about. Yes, the team called Bodo and Glimt, the team that finished second last season. Their best player, Pellegrini, has been injured. There's a player who played in his place. I can't remember his name. His name starts with the letter G. Was great. Molde won the trophy last season, but they disappointed me the other day. I had 2 of their players that didn't do anything. So in terms of there's a player, just look for Bodo Glimt. There's a midfielder starting with the letter G. He scored in the last game. He's a very good option. So there's that. If you can DM me on Twitter or something, I'll definitely help you. I play too many fantasy games, man. It's absolutely crazy. Sometimes I even forget. I forget which players I have. Which Bayern midfielder to go for? Gnabry playing looks up front. Yeah, looks very tempting. I'd go for him, Marcus, because he's playing up front. That is if you don't, if you already don't have too many problems for the next leg. If you already have other players that you need to transfer out next week, then he might not bring on Gnabry because he might be benched next week. But if you don't have any problems and you don't really care about that and you just want players for today, then Gnabry could be great. Zaid says, aight, done. So only thing I could do is maybe upgrade Valverde with extra 0.6 million. Now just keep Valverde. Do you have any of the Real Madrid players? I would keep Valverde. Tonali or Man City midfielder. If you can afford a Man City midfielder, I would go for a Man City midfielder. I'm gonna go safe captain with Haaland and follow the crowd, even though I would love to go Mario Ramos. Yes, there's always a chance. The Haaland is a machine. He could score against anyone. That's the thing, and that's something to think about. If we captain a Benfica player or something, and then Haaland gets a hat trick, and that game ends 4-4, then. Nick has sent in his team. My team right now: Vlachodimos, Ederson, Kim, Theo, Di Lorenzo, Otamendi, Vini. So you already have Vlachodimos. So there's no problem with bringing in a second defender. So I would take out Otamendi and bring in a defender from Benfica. Nick, probably Silva or Grimaldo. Mostly Grimaldo because he's going to attack. So I would take out Otamendi for Grimaldo. Vini, Kvaratskhelia, Bellingham, Mario, Salah, and so he didn't have what was your question again? So you already brought in Ramos, Benzema, and KDB. Napoli, Zelensky. You already have Haaland. I wouldn't go for too many of their players. You already have Vini as well. I'd go for differential in midfield, maybe a Zelensky or someone instead of Bellingham. Or maybe even an Gnabry if you can afford it. But defensively, definitely take out Otamendi and bring on Grimaldo. Haaland or Mario captain. As Zides has just said, Haaland is a safe pick. A lot of people will captain Haaland because he's Haaland. But if you want a differential, Mario can match him, obviously. In terms of points, he always scores and always assists. And if you feel like Inter Milan are going to defend, Bayern Munich are going to attack. So Man City Bayern is going to be attack. But Benfica and Inter Milan could be a lot of defense. So it looks like Haaland is the safest pick. To be honest, it looks like Haaland is the safest pick. Mario does take penalties, but so does Haaland. Gnabry, Grealish, Rodrigo plus Ake and Carvajal. Gnabry or Grealish or Rodrigo plus Ake or Carvajal. So I would go for Gnabry plus Carvajal, Camille. Yes, I got Vini, Benzema, and now Carvajal already. That's a lot of Real Madrid players. So already, and you also have Valverde. I mean, they're playing a very poor Chelsea team at the moment, so there's no problem with having 4 Real Madrid players. Mahrez to Sané, Grealish or Gnabry. Mahrez to Sané, Grealish. Gnabry is playing up front, so go for Gnabry. My team with 1 free transfer, Ederson, but 1 free transfer remaining or 1 free transfer used, CF. Ederson, Bastoni, Grimaldo, Theo, Zielinski, Vini. You've gone for Rodrigo, interesting. Kvaratskhelia, Mario, Haaland, bench, Kepa, Di Lorenzo, Carvajal, Leao. Let me know the answer to that question. CF, 1 free transfer remaining or 1 free transfer used. I already have Grimaldo. I forgot to mention. So definitely don't go for another Benfica player, defender again. You already have enough. So if you're taking out Otamendi, defender from Real Madrid, Nick, maybe Carvajal or someone like that. That is what I'd do. Definitely getting a Real Madrid defender. And then in terms of Bellingham, who are you going to take out to bring in instead of Bellingham? You can go for Zielinski differential. You can go for Tonali differential. You can go for Brozovic today as well as a differential. I think you're allowed to have at least 1 differential in your team, depending on what your predictions are. My predictions for this week, for today's matches, I'm going to go for Man City 3, Bayern Munich 3. So that it seems like Haaland will score a bunch of goals there, right? I'm going to go for Benfica to beat Inter Milan by 2-1, so no clean sheet there. I'm going to go for Chelsea to beat Real Madrid. No, definitely not. Real Madrid to beat Chelsea 3-1. I've given Chelsea a goal just because of how open Real Madrid were when they played Villarreal the other day. So I think Chelsea can make a goal somewhere. So no clean sheets this week, according to the predictions. AC Milan won and Napoli won as well. I think the second leg away at Napoli is going to have a lot more goals if Osimhen is back, and if AC Milan play a bit more openly, it's going to be a high-scoring game next week. But for today, tomorrow, I'm going to go for a 1-1 draw. So no clean sheet there, but if I was going to predict a clean sheet for someone, it's going to be Real Madrid. Predictions are predictions, though. All those games could easily end 0-0, and all those predictions will look very stupid. Ezra, how are you? Best midfielder, have De Bruyne, Kvaratskhelia, Vinicius, Joao Mario. I'd still say Joao Mario is the best midfielder. I think the last 10 games, he has 7 goals and 3 assists. He gets a lot, and he takes penalties as well. Very, very good option. Yes, did at 3-3. I can see it being very open, like both of them scoring a bunch of goals. Thoughts on Militao or Rudiger? I mean, the only problem with those centre backs alongside Alaba is you're not 100% sure who's going to start. But I'd be tempted to say Rudiger. I'd go for Rudiger against his former team. Something to prove, Rudiger. Keep Chilwell or sell. If you don't have any other problems in your team, I'd sell Chilwell. I think Madrid will score at least 3 goals in that game. Carvajal or Militao? Definitely Carvajal. Jerome. What to do with Mahrez? So in my case, I only have 1 transfer remaining, and I have to take out Osimhen. So I am going to keep Mahrez in the team, and hope he comes on. If he doesn't, I have the likes of Kvaratskhelia on the bench. But if you don't have any other problems in your team and you still have transfers, probably take out Mahrez and you can switch to Grealish or Gnabry. Which of these 3 options? Definitely watch that game, Dida. Definitely watch that game. It's going to be very interesting. Which of these 3 options would you go for, says Chim? 2 Real defenders with KDB, Leao, or Giroud, or 2 Real, Grealish, Ramos, and then Rudiger. Or then 3, sorry. So that is 2. Then 3 Rudiger, DiMarco, Dumfries was extra in the bank. Then Benfica will definitely score. I'm not really keen on that third option. Second option, 2 Real Madrid defenders, Grealish and Ramos. Or 2 Real Madrid defenders, KDB and Leao. I'd go for the second option, Chim. 2 Real Madrid defenders, Grealish and Ramos. But it's very close to this first one as well. I like Leao as an option for this week since they're playing at home. Merit of Vlaco, I'll go for Vlaco. Do you think Musiala is a good pick? I mean, he's playing as a number 10, so it could be a good pick today. And it's cheap as well. It's a very cheap option to the Bayern Munich midfield. My question is, who is the 5th I can go for, says Ezra. I have De Bruyne, Kvaratskhelia, Vinicius, and Mario. Can go for Gnabry. Gnabry is playing up front as well if you can afford him. If you can't, you can go for either Kimmich, Goretzka, and Musiala, all very cheap. So you can go for either of them. But Gnabry is playing up front, so that would be my first option if you can afford him. Osimhen to Ramos, yes. A lot of people will do that as well, Johnny. Thank you and good luck. Good luck to you as well, Chim. Good luck to you as well. So let me go through my team and this window that I have. So if I take out Osimhen, I will have 10 million remaining. My goodness, that's a lot. I have been thinking, should I go for an Inter Milan striker? That is crazy. A lot of people will go for Ramos, and a lot of people will go for Rafa Silva and those kind of players. So if you want a 100% differential, you can go for it. But should I go for the safe option? Rafa Silva is owned by 6%. Benfica, Inter. Benfica definitely favorites, but you never know. You never know. I only have 1 Inter Milan player. Let me see. How much is Lautaro Martinez? 8.5, and Dzeko is 7.7. I mean, Lautaro Martinez, no, man. Lautaro Martinez, no, man. Why? I'd be very stupid if I go for Lautaro Martinez. You know how many times he's disappointed us fantasy managers? Like Champions League fantasy the last 2 seasons, Inter Milan, very disappointing. Lautaro Martinez, very, very disappointing. He always finds a way to miss chances and all that. And also in terms of World Cup fantasy, he was very disappointing in the first game. That is why he was put to the bench and Alvarez came into the Argentina team. He's 8.5. It could be a good, very good. Let me see how many people own. Let me just check how many people own Lautaro Martinez. 4%. Could be an option. I mean, there's a lot of differential options. Like if you're taking out Osimhen, you can bring in Rafa Silva, you can bring in Ramos, you can bring in Lautaro Martinez, you can even bring in Dzeko. You can Bayern Munich are not starting with a striker. Tomorrow you can bring in Leao, Giroud. Like it doesn't really have to be Rafa Silva or Ramos if you want to be differential. But Benfica are playing so well, so you could go for them. 10 million. De Bruyne or Grealish this week? De Bruyne. Raspadori is another one as well, as Ray says. The only thing with Raspadori is he's playing tomorrow and you're not 100% sure if it's going to be him or... I think Simeone is a doubt. So I think at 60% or 70% it's going to be Raspadori. The problem with those players is that they get subbed off a lot. That's the one thing I don't like with those Napoli players. Apart from Kvaratskhelia and Osimhen, like if Politano starts, he could be subbed off easily. Simeone start is going to be subbed off at halftime. If Raspadori starts, he could be subbed off at halftime. That's the problem with those backup Napoli players. Is Kimmich plus Ramos better than Sane plus Raspadori? Yes, I'd say yes. Valverde, Musiala, after that, I'm ready. Since you already have those three Real Madrid players, I'd go for Musiala. Gnabry, KDB is do you mean Gnabry in for KDB or do you mean Zelo? Sorry. Best midfielders for 6.9 million or below because I can't afford Musiala, just realized. I mean, you can go for Goretzka if you prefer. I'm sure I've seen Goretzka scoring a couple of goals in the Champions League this season, right? I'm not crazy. Let me just confirm that for you. I'm sure I've seen Goretzka scoring a couple of goals. Where is he? Just confirm that for you. Oh, yes, he scored 2 goals and has 4 assists in the Champions League this season, Goretzka. So there's that as well. He's 6.7. If you want another midfielder from Bayern Munich. He does chip in at goals and assists sometimes, although I do expect him to play a bit deeper today. What changes would you make? Merit, Courtois, Di Lorenzo, Diaz, Cavallero, Grimaldo, Bastoni? Which changes? I have no problem with the goalkeeper. I mean, goalkeepers first. I do have problems with the goalkeepers. Both of them are playing on the same day. So I'd take out one of them and bring on a goalkeeper who's playing today. And that is either Vlaco or Ederson or any of those guys. So definitely change the goalkeeper and bring... That is if you have transfers. If you don't have any transfers left, I wouldn't take a -4 to take out a goalkeeper. Just play one of them tomorrow. But if you have transfers, I take out one of the goalkeeper and bring in a goalkeeper playing today. Defensively, that looks okay to me. I think that's a good balance. 1 Real Madrid, 1 Benfica, 1 Inter. Kvaratskhelia, Musiala, Maria, Vini, Sane, that also looks okay. Yeah, so there's just the goalkeepers, Jera. Rafa Silva or Ramos? I'd still say Ramos. Silva, both of them, I think they usually get almost the same points. Silva, defender, or Cavallero? It depends on who else you have in your team, Johnny. I'm assuming you already have another defender from Benfica, Cavallero. Gnabry or KDB? Again, to answer that question, depends on how many Man City players you already have or how many Bayern Munich players you have. But KDB will play 90 minutes. Gnabry could be subbed off. That's the thing. They could easily bring in Muller and take out Gnabry. Who do they have on the bench? But I'm really tempted in Gnabry because he's playing up front. I think both teams will score. But just to be safe, I think KDB. That is if you only have Haaland in your team and you want another player, you can go for KDB. Who should I play between Vlaco and Ederson because they play on the same day? I'd go for Vlaco because Ederson will definitely concede. Grealish or Musiala? That one I'd go for Grealish because he's playing at home and he's been on massive form as well. But any of them could be good picks, but I'd go for Grealish though, Jaron. Who should I go for? Myself, I don't even know who I'm going to go for in terms of forward players. Lautaro Martinez, nah, man. Like, I'm really tempted to go for him as a differential, but I already went for Tonali as a differential. I'd be so mad at myself. Now, if I have Rafa Silva or Ramos and then Lautaro Martinez scores, I'll be fine with that. But if I go for Lautaro Martinez and then Benfica win 3-0 and then we're like, duh, you expected Benfica to win, I'd be so mad at myself. So let me see Benfica players. Rafa Silva, Ramos. I've just answered someone by saying Ramos, but let me check how many people are owning Ramos right now. 4%. I only have 20 minutes to make my decision as well. Rafa Silva, 6%. Ramos does not take their penalties. Mario does. Rafa Silva doesn't take the penalties as well. That is so, it's so crazy. Ezra says captain Benfica player Man City. Benfica. I mean, I put a poll. Let me see how many people have voted. So 74% have said Man City player. 21% have said Benfica player. According to the 75 people who voted Ezra, 74% of them have gone for Man City. 0% have said Inter Milan player and 5% have said Bayern Munich player. Many people will go for Haaland. A lot of people will go for Haaland as well. So if you feel like you want to be safe, again, let me explain something. It depends on what you're looking for today. If there's a lot of people ahead of you in the standings and in the rankings and you're trying to catch up, then you can go for a differential like a Benfica player today and forget about Haaland in terms of captaincy. But if you're already top of your country or in the top 5 or in the top 10 or top of your league that you're trying to win, then you can just go safe and go with Haaland. So it depends on the situation you are. But if it's from Man City, Haaland or De Bruyne, I would go for Haaland. De Bruyne is still a differential as well, but I think Haaland is, since he's on penalties as well. Grealish or Sane? I can't afford Grealish unless I remove Sane, and Sane has a reputation of ghosting in knockouts. He's playing against his former team, though. I have a funny feeling he's going to turn up. I would still choose, so I can't afford Grealish unless I remove Sane. I wouldn't remove Sane and bring on Grealish. I wouldn't do that. I'd only bring on Grealish and the likes of Goretzka if I had the likes of Bellingham who've been eliminated. I wouldn't go switch one player from another team to the team they're playing against. No, I think all teams will score. 4 free transfers: Osimhen, Chilwell, Mahrez, Ederson to Benzema, KDB, Militao, Courtois. Sounds good. I would go for Carvajal instead of Militao, but if Militao works for you, you can go for that, Rehan. I'm expecting 2-1 City. I'm expecting 3-3. But I'm not expecting Bayern to win. I'm expecting Man City to either win or draw. So there's that. Let me see. Benfica, Inter Milan. AC Milan. Forward players. Who should I go for? Rafa Silva, Giroud, Ramos, Leao, Dzeko, Lautaro Martinez, Neres. No, I mean, you guys will remember me saying Lautaro Martinez could do something today, but I'm not brave enough. I'm not going to go for Lautaro Martinez. I'm actually going to go for Rafa Silva. That's my decision. That's my final decision. Rafa Silva is in for Osimhen. Confirm. That is a done transfer. Do you want to transfer Osimhen out for Rafa Silva? Yes, that is done. I'm not going to bring on Lautaro Martinez. It's disappointed me way too much, man. Way too much. And that is my team. That is my team. Done. Rafa Silva, Haaland, Benzema up front, Mahrez, Vinicius, Tonali, Mario in midfield, Grimaldo, Hernandez, Carvajal in midfield, in defense, sorry, and then Onana goalkeeper, and then my 3 Napoli players on the bench alongside Kepa. Hopefully Mahrez does come on. If he doesn't, I'll just bring on one of the players from the bench. Now, the one thing I need to decide is captaincy. Who should I captain? That's the only thing remaining to decide, captaincy. I've just predicted Man City 3, Bayern 3, and if that's the case, that means Haaland is scoring at least 2 goals. Joao Mario. How many goals have Inter Milan conceded in the last? I know they've not won since the international break, but I don't know how many goals they've conceded. Musiala, Jerome, I'd go for Musiala. Inter Milan are very capable of parking the bus. That's the thing with them. They are going to park the bus. That's what I fear in terms of captaining a Benfica player. Inter Milan could say, you know what, you're going to come here and look for a 0-0. Also, AC Milan love doing that in the first leg or second leg. Like they both done that in the previous round. AC Milan went to Tottenham. AC Milan scored a goal against Tottenham in the first 10 minutes, and they defended for the rest of the 80 minutes. They didn't concede, and they defended for the second leg as well. 90 minutes, they didn't concede. So AC Milan are capable of that. Inter Milan as well are very capable of that. They did the same thing against FC Porto, just park the bus. To boost a prediction, you're asking for the which one I've gone for? I think I went for Benfica 2, Inter Milan 1. That's the one I went for. Benfica 2, Inter Milan 1. Pedro says best City midfielder. It's definitely De Bruyne, and then followed by Grealish. If I need to do it tomorrow, who would you bench out? If I need to do it tomorrow, would you do Lorenzo Romani Cavall? I'd leave Romani on the bench, Liad. Make sure to hit the like button if I've answered your question. I really appreciate it. Inter Milan. Inter Milan conceded 1 goal against Inter, 1 goal against Inter Milan conceded 1 goal against Fiorentina, against Juve, against Salernitana as well. I mean, they don't concede a lot of goals, Inter Milan. The last 3 games they've conceded 1, 1, 1. Actually, the last 5 games, Inter Milan have not conceded more than 1 goal. The last time it was against Spezia in March. They never really get hammered, Inter Milan. They never get hammered by a lot of goals. The most goals people score against them is 1 or 2. Benfica have been on great form. I think they lost to FC Porto. Let me just check. Benfica results. I want to see how many goals Benfica scored recently. Inter Milan don't concede a lot of goals. Benfica scored 5 the other day, though. They scored 1 against Rio. They scored once against Porto. Ake, Grimaldo, Theo Hernandez, Lorenzo. Which 5th defender should I go for? So you have Ake, Man City, you have Benfica, you have AC Milan, you have Napoli. I'd go for Cavall, Rehan. Ramos, Mario scored twice the other day. Antonio Silva scored as well. Ramos scored. Benfica are capable of hammering teams, but Inter Milan love parking the bus. Like, I have a feeling they're just going to park the bus today. Here is a tip. Benfica going to win 3-0. Sonan is going to do you bad in goals, says Hamid. I can't take him out, though. I already had other problems to sort out. He can get save points, though. There's that argument. He can get save points. I'm not expecting a clean sheet now. I'm definitely not. I'm not expecting a clean sheet from anyone. So, yeah, 1 point, 2 points could be okay. But I'm going to stick with Joao Mario as my captain. I don't think I'm going to change that. I'm just going to keep him. Whatever Haaland does. I'm going to keep Mario as my captain. It could come back to bite me because Haaland is no joke, man. Haaland is no joke. My predictions on the predictor app, Ahmed, I can't come off this screen, but I went for Benfica 2, Inter Milan 1, Real Madrid 3, Chelsea 1, AC Milan 1, Napoli 1, Man City 3, Bayern Munich 3. That's what I went for. And the 2x prediction, I went for Benfica, Inter Milan. I think I'm ready. I think that is the final team I'm going to go for. I'm not going to make. I can't make any other changes anyway. I've finished my transfers. I think that looks good. The balances I have 3. I have 3 Benfica players. I have 3 Napoli players. I have 2 AC Milan players. I have 1 Inter Milan player. I have 2 Man City players. I have 3 Real Madrid players. I have 1 Chelsea player. That is the balance. And yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm definitely happy with that. If you have questions for tomorrow, make sure to comment on this video after we finish. You can just come back to this video and ask your questions for tomorrow in terms of subs and all that. Marion says he's also injured. He is. He could still be on the bench for tomorrow, but I don't think he's going to be risked. So I don't think he will play. He's back in training, but I don't think he will be ready. I'm doing my transfer now. Messi, Osimhen, Bellingham, Salah, Otamendi to Benzema, Ramos, KDB, Goretzka, and Cavell. Go for it, Nick. That sounds good. Captain Haaland, Joao Mario. Ramos, I've gone for Joao Mario, but Haaland is Haaland. If you're not feeling brave enough, you can go for Haaland. If you're feeling brave and you want a differential, Mario and Ramos. Bastoni to Theo for -4. Nope. 100% no. I absolutely hate taking hits. I went with Ramos. Hopefully, players like Leao, Giroud, Raspadori won't do well. I went with Ramos. Hopefully, players like Leao, Giroud. Yeah, hopefully, if that game ends 0-0, that would be good, Liad. If you have any other questions you can send a tweet on Twitter. Like I do play UCL fantasy. I play FPL. I also play MLS, United States of America League fantasy, and I also play Norwegian fantasy. So if you have any questions for that, you can always text on Twitter. How many points would you like to get overall this match, Nick? Because I would like to at least get 70. Haaland, Benzema, Rafa, I'm expecting all of them to get attacking returns. Tonali, not expecting a lot, maybe 4 points or something. Mario, Vinicius, Grimaldo, Theo, Cavall. I'd say almost the same. 70 to 75, Ahmed. Bastoni to Theo, nope. I already answered that. I've answered you, Ezra, as well. Mario. Captaining Joao Mario because they're good at home and they score a bunch of goals at home, basically. It's a 50-50 there. Like, I don't think Haaland is a bad captain as well. I would not be surprised if Haaland scored a hat-trick today. Two most safe Real Madrid defenders of this week and beyond. In terms of minutes, I'd say Cavall and probably Cavall and Courtois. But if you want defenders, Cavall and Rudiger. Good luck, guys. Thanks, Glenn, for the stream. No problem, Jose. Appreciate you watching. Captain, Haaland, KDB, or Mario? I have Captain Mario. Haaland, many people will captain Haaland, though. You need to know that. Many people will captain Haaland. So if he scores and you don't have him as captain, you could be in a bit of trouble unless both KDB or Mario, whoever your captain, score as well. And player of the match as well is very important at this stage of the season because it's only like 4 of them getting. Thanks for the help. Unfortunately, Arsenal bottling has begun, says Jerem. No, we've not bottled anything. It's 7 wins and 1 draw in 8 games. That is not bottling. Haaland is the best. Haaland is the best captain option because he's on the penalty duties and his City get a pen, he's gonna score. I mean, Mario is on penalty duties as well, Ahmed. Same with Mario. Mario and Benfica, I think, have gotten more penalties than Man City. I appreciate you guys watching. I think I'll end it there. As I said, if you have any questions for tomorrow, make sure to comment on this particular video. Let's enjoy the games. My prediction for today is going to be a high-scoring game between Man City and Bayern Munich. Let's not hope so, by the way, because I don't want Haaland to score too many goals. Good luck to you as well, Hamid. Thank you for watching, and I'll catch up with you guys on the next one.